Hey there, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that feels straight out of science fiction, but is very much our reality. We're talking about artificial intelligence, not just assisting with writing, but, well, autonomously authoring entire books using these sophisticated multi-agent systems.
It really is a game changer. What we're exploring today is this incredible journey of how a book, specifically one about the T20 Multi-Agent System itself, was actually conceptualized, written, and then refined by a team of AI agents.
Wow.
And importantly for you, our listener, we're going to spotlight your crucial role in this new paradigm, preparing that final, expertly crafted content for publication, maybe as an engaging, interactive online experience. We're really looking at, the intersection of advanced AI workflows and the art of web development.
Absolutely. Our mission here is to walk you through this, frankly, mind-bending workflow from just a high-level goal all the way to a polished, publishable manuscript. We'll uncover how these intelligent agents collaborated, how they learned, and even how they iterated based on, detailed editorial feedback. Get ready for some serious aha moments, because this isn't just about one book. It's about a paradigm shift in how complex creative projects can be tackled.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack the star of our show then, the T20 Multi-Agent System. At its core, what exactly is this collaborative brain we're talking about?
Right. Think of it like a highly specialized, self-organizing team, okay? But composed entirely of AI. The T20 system is built on what's called an Orchestrator-Delegate model.
Okay.
You have the orchestrator agent. Its name is Meta AI, acting basically as the project manager. You give it a high-level goal, let's say, design a modern landing page for a new sauce product.
Yeah.
Meta AI analyzes that goal, and then it dynamically generates a detailed step-by-step plan.
Dynamically. So this isn't just a rigid pre-programmed script the AI follows then. How does it adapt like that?
That's a key point, yeah. Meta AI isn't rigidly programmed. It uses a powerful large language model, like the advanced generative AIs we hear about, often Gemini 1.5 Pro in this case. It uses that to dynamically break down the high-level goal into actionable tasks. And then it delegates these tasks to specialized delegate agents. So you might have Aurora, the designer AI, or Codex, the engineer AI, each with specific skills, just like a human team.
Right, like specialists. But what's really fascinating here isn't just the delegation, it's how they genuinely seem to work together.
It's all about contextual collaboration and artifact passing.
Yeah.
That's the jargon, but what it means is the output of one agent automatically becomes the input for the next one. It creates this continuous flow of information, almost like a digital assembly line. And crucially, there's another agent, Lyra, the prompt engineer.
So the prompt engineer.
Yeah, Lyra is responsible for meta-learning and adaptation. So Lyra constantly refines the system prompts during the workflow itself, optimizing how the other agents perform for that specific goal.
So it's like having a coach tweaking the team's strategy mid-game.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. Continuously improving efficiency and quality as it goes.
What really stands out about this system, looking at the details, is its robust foundation. It seems built for tackling genuinely complex problems. These aren't just features listed out. They feel like the building blocks of reliability and transparency. Tell us why something like pedantic for structured LLM outputs isn't just a technical detail. Why is that so impactful?
Right. This is where T20 really shifts gears from maybe simpler systems. That pedantic for structured LLM outputs, it sounds technical, but it's the bedrock of reliability. Think about it. Without a common, enforceable language or structure, AI agents could easily misinterpret each other's outputs, right? It could lead to chaos.
Yeah, total breakdown.
Pydantic ensures every single plan, every artifact is perfectly formatted. It eliminates ambiguity, allows for those seamless handoffs between agents. And those stateful sessions you mentioned, they're not just logs, they're an unprecedented audit trail.
An audit trail.
Imagine being able to rewind and inspect every single decision, every step an AI team made, from the initial thought process to the final output. It transforms debugging. It's not a black box anymore. It's completely transparent, actionable.
So these meticulous stateful sessions aren't just for the AI's internal use, are they? They sound incredibly valuable for a human developer like you listening, who might need to understand the AI's whole chain of reasoning before building something on top of it, like an interactive front end.
Absolutely. They're a window. A clear view into the AI's entire thought process makes it much easier for a human to step in, understand what happened, why it happened, and then build upon it confidently.
Okay, so with that foundation established, the next big challenge, surely, was how does a system maybe originally built for things like designing landing pages? How does it tackle something as abstract and, well, fundamentally human as writing an entire book.
Yep.
Let's peel back the layers on the AI's blueprint for creating this book content.
Yeah, that raises a really important question. How do you structure a creative process like book writing for AI agents? The answer, in T20's case, lies in breaking it down into what the system calls task-agnostic steps, or TAF.
TAs, task-agnostic steps.
Right. Think of these as universal actions, things like research, draft, review, refine. Actions that are fundamental to any complex project, really, whether it's building software or writing a book. They provide a common language for the AI to understand and manage tasks, no matter the specific content.
Got it. So it provides a structure.
Exactly. The workflow then begins with phase 1, planning and structuring. This is where the task-agnostic step extractor agent, or TASE, and Lyra, the prompt engineer, work together. They define the book scope, identify those core TAS needed, and develop a comprehensive outline. Then the book author agent, called GP-TASE, drafts that initial framework based on their plan.
Okay, planning done. Then comes phase 2, content generation and prompt engineering. This sounds like where the creative spark really ignites. I imagine this is where the AI truly starts writing, but what does that magic actually look like under the hood?
Well, magic is a good word for the output, but the process is quite methodical. Here, Lyra, our prompt engineer, generates specific, tailored system prompts for the book author agent, GPT-ACE, to write each individual chapter, sometimes even sections.
Ah, not just one big write a book prompt.
No, far more granular. So instead of one vague instruction, it's a sequence of detailed briefs. A prompt for the introduction, another for the architecture chapter, one for getting started, usage examples, core concepts, the team details, even the conclusion. It's like having a dedicated creative brew for every single section, guiding the AI's writing process very precisely.
Which really brings us to the crucial iterative stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This sounds like it mirrors how human teams refine their work.
That's phase 3, review, refinement, and publication. And this is a critical feedback loop. It involves an editor agent, which is actually Lyra taking on a different role here, reviewing the entire draft.
Okay.
Then the book author agent, GPT-ACE, incorporates that feedback. There's another final review by editor Lyra. And then critically, the final step involves the web developer agent called Qwen3 WebDev. And that step is where you, the listener, conceptually fit in formatting the book for publication, potentially adding web elements for an online version.
Right, the human touch at the end for presentation. Now, the book itself, Mastering the T20 Multi-Agent System, sounds incredibly thorough from the outline. It seems to cover everything from the basics, what is a multi-agent system, through T20's architecture, getting started guides, usage examples, deep dives on each agent, the project's internal structure, and even looking at future directions.
It's a very methodical outline, yes. Chapter 1, for example, Introduction to T20 Multi-Agent System. It doesn't just define core MAS concepts and position T20 as this paradigm shift. It also explicitly guides readers on how to use this book, pointing out useful appendices like the glossary and troubleshooting sections, really trying to maximize learning.
And for those listeners wanting to get their hands dirty, Chapter 3, Getting Started with T20, really dives into the practicalities. It details prerequisites, Python, Git, the usual suspects. It gives a step-by-step installation guide, including virtual environments, setting up your environment with an API key, and it even walks you through your very first T20 run with a concrete goal like design and create the HTML and CSS for a modern minimalist landing page for a new SaaS product called Innovate.
Exactly.
That's precisely the kind of structured technical content that you listening as a web developer could easily translate into, say, an interactive tutorial or maybe even a live code sandbox right there on the webpage.
That's spot on. And that iterative feedback process we mentioned, that's where the real learning and refinement happen, very much like human editorial workflows. Our sources show editor Lyra providing specific, quite insightful feedback on the initial drafts. For instance, Lyra flagged significant overlap between Chapter 2, core concepts and architecture, and Chapter 5, the T20 team, agents in detail.
Huh. That's a classic editorial catch.
Right. It's like a human editor politely, or maybe not so politely, telling two writers, hey, you're both kind of writing about the same thing here. Let's streamline this.
That's incredible. An AI identifying structural overlap and redundancy, that's something you'd expect from a seasoned human editor, not just, a grammar checker. What does that tell us about the sophistication of Lyra's capabilities in that editor role?
It really highlights a deep level of understanding, doesn't it? It goes way beyond just surface-level correction. Lyra actually recommended that Chapter 2 should focus purely on the overarching architectural principles, the Orchestrator-Delegate model, dynamic planning, contextual collaboration, session logging, those big ideas.
Okay, the theory.
While Chapter 5 should be entirely dedicated to the individual agent details, Meta AI's responsibilities, Lyra's own prompt engineering role, Aurora the designer, Codex the engineer, even Taze the extractor agent, and crucially, how you could define your own custom agents using simple YAML files. So this wasn't just fixing typos, it was fundamentally improving the book's entire narrative structure and flow.
So the book author agent, GPT, then took all that feedback on board and revised the manuscript.
Exactly, leading to a much more coherent, better structured final product. This iterative refinement isn't just about fixing errors, it's genuinely about enhancing clarity, practical value, and ensuring the content meets, frankly, high quality standards.
Makes sense.
And Lyra also pushed for more concrete illustrative examples in Chapter 4, usage and advanced examples. So that chapter now details how to craft effective goals, how to explore the session artifacts we talked about, advanced scenarios like complex goal decomposition, how to leverage Lyra directly for prompt optimization, and even customizing agent configurations.
Getting into the advanced usage.
Right. And the feedback also ensured that Appendix C, the full example session log, wasn't just a data dump. It was explicitly linked back to those core concepts of dynamic planning and traceability, providing a tangible step-by-step example of the T20 system actually in action, made it much more useful as a learning tool.
Okay, this brings us then to the final, absolutely critical step in this whole AI-driven book creation process. And it's where you, listening, potentially come in. After all the writing and editing by the AI agents, the very last task in the workflow, task 015, is explicitly defined. It says, format the final book content for publication, potentially including web development elements if required for an online version.
This one.
This is your starring role, conceptually, as the web developer, Qwen3 web dev.
Precisely. The book content, now polished, verified, iterated upon, it needs to be transformed. And this isn't just about creating a static, print-ready PDF anymore, is it? It's about preparing it for a dynamic digital future. Imagine taking all these rich details about the T20 Multi-Agent System, the dynamic plans, the agent definitions in YAML, those detailed session logs, the code snippets from Chapter 3, and bringing them to life through interactive web elements. You're the bridge between static text and dynamic, usable knowledge.
Think about the possibilities here. Seriously. An online version could dynamically show those code snippets from the Getting Started chapter in an editable sandbox. Let users tinker right there.
Yeah, definitely.
It could feature interactive diagrams of that Orchestrator-Delegate model, maybe letting users click on an agent to see its specific role and definition pop up. Or even, thinking about those session logs, a searchable, annotated version of the example logs from Appendix C. Imagine explicitly linking steps in the log back to the core concepts explained earlier, allowing users to essentially rewind and follow the AI's thought process themselves.
Exactly.
Your expertise in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, maybe frameworks like React or Vue, would be absolutely invaluable in making this complex information not just accessible, but genuinely engaging for learners. It moves way beyond just passively reading. It becomes about actively experiencing and exploring the material.
And looking ahead, Chapter 7, Future Directions and Contributions, gives us a little glimpse into where all this might be going. We're talking about potential enhancements to the T20 system itself. Of course, maybe more advanced planning algorithms or a broader ecosystem of specialized agents.
Makes sense.
But just as importantly, it explores how human roles, like yours in web development, will continue to evolve. The focus shifts towards making this powerful AI-generated knowledge interactive, digestible, and truly impactful for end users.
It feels like we're seeing systems like T20 paving the way for more autonomous, more intelligent AI frameworks across the board. The impact could span software development, definitely research, and as we've seen today, content creation. It seems poised to truly revolutionize how complex tasks are approached, and, crucially, how information and knowledge can be shared and consumed. Wow, what a deep dive that was. From really understanding the nuts and bolts of a multi-agent system like T20 to seeing AI agents collaboratively write and then refine a detailed book. And ultimately, recognizing the absolutely crucial role of human web development expertise and bringing that knowledge to a wider interactive audience. It's quite a journey.
It really highlights the immense potential of collaborative AI, doesn't it? But importantly, it also underscores the enduring value of structured processes, that iterative feedback loop, and highly specialized human skills like web development. The synthesis, the combination of these elements, is truly transforming how knowledge is created and shared, moving beyond just static text into this vibrant interactive realm.
So as we wrap up, here's something to mull over, a provocative thought perhaps. If AI can research, write, and refine entire technical books like this? What entirely new forms of interactive knowledge, what novel educational experiences can you as a web developer create when you're armed with such powerful, structured, AI-generated content? How will the very act of reading a book, especially a technical one, evolve in this emerging, multi-agent-driven digital future? That's all for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.